When the emotional parts of your brain are still active, but your consciousness is mostly switched off, dreams begin to form. Rational thinking goes away, allowing you to believe anything you see. Positive emotions dominate, your dreams become nostalgic and warm, even if very messy and strange. You see the people you love, visit places where you feel calm and free. Waking up from such dreams can be frustrating once you realize it wasn't real, yet still pleasant. Unfortunately, this happens very rarely. Most dreams tend to be psychedelic, absurd, and meaningless. But when the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for anxiety and fear, becomes especially active, a sense of growing threat appears. You find yourself in uncomfortable places, and you may meet someone who likely doesn't wish you well. Usually this someone is unique in each dream, but sometimes an entire group of people may encounter the same figure. Someone they've never met in real life, and who has never existed in the real world at all. And today I want to talk to you about the most well-known dream entities that terrorize people's sleep. The Hat Man. To be completely fair, the earliest mentions of dream entities appear long before the birth of Christ, in the myths of Mesopotamia and antiquity. In Sumerian sources they were called Lilitu, in Greece, Affiliates, in Rome, Incubus. Yes, originally this word was not associated with sexy men in tight leather seducing women, and sometimes not only women, but with an amorphous creature with animalistic features, sitting on a person's chest and suffocating them. The word incubus literally means the one who sits on top. Later in the Middle Ages, this entity became known as the Old Hag, and was reimagined as a witch-like old woman sitting on the sleeper and casting terrifying dreams. In Scandinavian folklore, such beings were called Mara, which gave us the modern word nightmare. In the 19th and 20th centuries, the term sleep paralysis emerged, uniting all dream entities that stand or sit over you while you're unable to move. It's important to note that not all nightmares are caused by sleep paralysis, and most people who claim to experience it often exaggerate or misunderstand what actually happened. This video, however, is not about sleep paralysis, though some of today's characters can be seen in that state. For example, the Hat Man, a tall, dark figure in a coat and wide-brimmed hat, sometimes with red glowing dots for eyes. He's one of the earliest concepts of dream entities. Usually he simply stands and watches the half-awake person. You may spot him at the door, in the corner, or next to your bed. He doesn't behave aggressively and doesn't usually pose an immediate threat. He just stands there, staring. Reports from various forums suggest that people from many different cultures and nationalities have seen him, which allows us to call him a collective archetype of a frightening presence. The Hat Man became so iconic in horror culture that he even inspired the creation of the infamous Freddy Krueger. At some point, he lost popularity due to newer, more trendy creepypasta characters, only to return and gain popularity on the internet in 2020. That year, due to the pandemic and TikTok's explosive growth, the Benadryl challenge went viral.
There's now a new dangerous social media trend making national headlines, and one person has already died. I'm talking to local health experts who are pleading with children and parents to avoid the Benadryl challenge.
Its idea was to take a high dose of Benadryl, which an overdose can cause hallucinations, and of course for you to go to sleep. Encountering the so-called Benadryl Man, a tall dark figure in a hat and coat. Yes, the Hat Man returned to horror mainstream once again, but now through a dangerous challenge. There is at least one recorded case of a fatal Benadryl overdose connected to this, so I strongly advise against following any trend involving medication. As for the Hat Man himself, he's one of the most basic, yet no less terrifying dream entities. A humanoid figure in unnatural clothing, appearing in the threshold of your dark bedroom, is enough to terrify anyone. This man. You've probably seen this face before, at least online. A man with a stiff smile, thick eyebrows, and protruding ears became the most famous and memorable dream intruder in the history of the internet. His nature is mysterious and contradictory. Some people claim he visited them to warn about the future. Others say he's extremely aggressive and a bad omen, while others describe him as friendly, even appearing as a romantic or sexual partner. Everything depends on the dream. And it all started in 2006 when an unknown New York psychiatrist supposedly created a sketch based on the patient's description. The patient complained that this man regularly appeared in his dreams. Another patient, seeing the drawing on the psychiatrist's desk, claimed to have seen him as well. After a small survey, 4 more patients confirmed the same. This led to the creation of the website thisman.org, where people learn about this strange dream visitor. The site lists several theories exploring the phenomenon. The archetypal theory claims he's a universal Jungian symbol emerging during stress. The religious theory interprets him as a manifestation of God communicating through dreams. The dream surfer theory suggests that this man is a real person capable of entering others' dreams or participating in a psychological experiment. The imitation theory poses that people see him only after hearing about him, a psychological meme. And finally, the daytime recognition theory argues that the brain simply attaches his familiar face to otherwise vague dream figures. People worldwide began recognizing him and sharing dream stories online. For example, a woman dreams of a tall, dark man showing her a photo and asking if she recognizes her father. The photo shows this man. Later in the dream, she sees her father's grave, and the picture on the tombstone is missing. Another person sees this man in romantic dreams, gifting flowers and taking her on dates. In real life, she finds him unattractive, yet in dreams feels inexplicable love. Some see him as a silent companion during flying dreams, floating next to them like an unwanted observer. The most terrifying case describes a man trapped in a room with a TV. After being attacked by strangers and waking up in a panic, he falls asleep again, only to return to the same room. This man appears on the TV screen and cuts the dreamer's throat, forcing him to wake up and escape the nightmare. Sounds convincing? In reality, this man is the creation of an Italian marketer, Andre Nutella, launched in 2008. The face was based on the photo of Nutella's own father, and thisman.org was an art project promoting his marketing services. In 2010, Nutella confirmed the hoax in an interview, and despite this, people still believe this man is real, and many continue to see him in their dreams. The genius marketing stunt became a fascinating part of internet culture, referenced in works like Dan Dadden, The X-Files, and my personal favorite, Fear and Hunger 2. In 2023, the film Dream Scenario starring Nicolas Cage was released, inspired by the story of this man. I Need You. I Need You is a spiritual successor to This Man, rising to fame in 2024. It comes from the dream meme category born on Twitter. These memes began when someone posted about a dream involving a chubby cat saying body, which went viral. I Need You first appeared in a tweet by user Furghost with the caption, "I had a nightmare that made me start crying. This is my recreation." Although it started as a meme, users on 4chan later claimed they had genuinely seen them in their dreams. The entity appears as a distorted face with no nose, huge green eyes, and an unnaturally wide mouth. It triggers the uncanny valley, fear caused by something that looks almost human but not quite. Examples of this include the Android I Feel Fantastic, the mimic trend that once blew up TikTok, and skinwalkers. Despite its creepy appearance, the narrative I Need You did not achieve the same cultural impact as This Man and remained a rather niche character within the deep segment of social media. Mallworld. If the previous intruders were individuals, Mallworld is an entire location appearing in many people's dreams. Imagine an enormous, endless, abandoned shopping mall. Everything is bright, colorful, and yet wrong, as if someone tries to imitate a real mall, but gets the details a little off. Similar to dreamcore aesthetics, brand logos are distorted, mannequins stand in strange poses, arcade areas are empty, and distant muffled music echoes through the halls. People often describe Mallworld as a place from the late 90s or early 2000s. Interestingly, most people say there's no real danger, only intense unease and the constant feeling of being watched. The mall's liminality makes every sound very scary, yet nothing ever happens. Escaping Mallworld is impossible. Halls lead to corridors, corridors to stairwells, stairwells to more corridors, and they lead back to halls again. Elevators and escalators take you to yet another floor, sometimes endlessly. Mallworld is a giant liminal megastructure that can invoke nostalgia, comfort, and melancholy in some, and tension and anxiety in others. Mallworld also has a darker counterpart, the bathroom maze. You enter a restroom, and the dream core atmosphere shifts to something filthy and disgusting. Dirty tiles, endless intestinal hallways of toilet stalls, broken sinks, water pooling on the floor and squishing beneath your feet. No windows anywhere, and like Mallworld, the bathroom maze is surreal. Toilets may stand openly in the middle of a walkway, mirrors show distorted human-like figures, and the entire maze radiates panic and disgust. Some notable regions include the pink bathroom, the only warm and mildly safe area, the dark shower block, faded tiles, dripping water, but no shower running, the warm sink room, steam and humidity like a sauna. If Mallworld is a vast endless shopping center, Bathroom Maze is an intimate, claustrophobic, endless labyrinth of restrooms and often tied to fear, shame, and bodily vulnerability. Thank you so much for listening until the end. I hope you enjoyed this story. I really tried my best. This channel is only a month old, and I really didn't expect to get any attention at all. I also want to thank my friends for supporting me. I truly appreciate your support, and I'll see you in the next video.